Hello and welcome to the Grizzled Warmaster. Today we're going to take a look at the GW Saturday sneak preview that we had here on the 19th, or sorry, I guess the 20th of March 2021. And I am obviously just going to go over the Age of Sigmar and Warhammer Underworld stuff. We'll leave it to other channels to do the 40k stuff. So let's dive right in and look at the Undead Conquerors of the Mortal Realms. We are getting a Soulblight book, folks. This is pretty amazing. Luca from Mini Wargaming is going to be so happy. And the models for this look incredible. I used to play Vampire Counts back in the day, and these guys look great. Look at these Blood Knights. They are going to be awesome. I especially like their lieutenant or sergeant there with his cool mace. That looks awesome. Look at those wings, bat wings sticking off of the back of his armor. Like stylized bat wings, I should say. They look like they're metal. Just fantastic looking models. The standard bearer. I hope that's already on the banner because there's no way I'm freehanding something like that. But that looks great. We got a female vampire there. These evoke the classic Blood Knights from fantasy. Just so great. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on there. We had already seen some of these guys because they are essentially the same kit or the same models as come in the Grave City. I forget what the name of the board game is, but a lot of these models are coming over from them. But man, these are the Death Rattle skeletons, so they look fantastic. I mean, they look a little too elite for skeletons, actually. But let's take a look here. Just like the pitted armor, the skeletons. GW is getting so good at making models. We got some spears, so I'm assuming you're going to have two different weapon types, and that this then is the command, again with the mace there, and then you got your little banner. So they look fantastic. They got the Deadwalker zombies, again, reminiscent of what we got in the game. I'm sure some of them are exactly the same as what came in the game. You got the tree branches growing through them. This guy's got an axe embedded in his head. They just, very characterful. So you can make a unit of zombies that not everybody looks the same and has the same weapons and stuff. So again, looking fantastic. Fellbats, these are really good. The old Fellbats were, I don't know, a little lacking, especially compared to the modern standards. They had already given us some, so let's go ahead and look at some of those. We've got the Rat Prince. Kryza, I think is his name, and then we've got the Vampire Lord that everybody was kind of making fun of with the vampires in his head, and then you've got the White King on Skeletal Steed. I guess hero support for your Blood Knights. Kind of funny that the White King is supporting the Vampire Knights, but hey, and maybe we're missing stuff. Maybe there is going to be some white cavalry as well. Make maybe a lighter cavalry compared to the Blood Knights heavy cavalry. I don't know. But here's the cover for our Soulblight Gravelords battle tome. This totally evokes the memory of Vampire Counts from old fantasy. It's super exciting. I am really looking forward. And just remember that all of the units in the Cursed City, that's what it was called, the Cursed City, can be used in AOS. So I'm assuming you can make the ogres, the vampire ogre and the zombie ogres, part of this army if you wanted to. So that will be amazing. All right, we got then also a teaser for a new Broken Realms. Notice this is a Dragon Ogre. The name of it is Broken Realms Kragnos, officially breaking my predictions on the direction Broken Realms are going to go, because we've got Be'lakor, which I never saw coming. Then now we've got a guy, Kragnos, who I've not really heard of. Maybe he's a deep cut in the lore that I just haven't been paying attention to, because I hadn't really gotten too much in the lore until 2nd edition. So So we start off with 2 big name elves, a big name demon, and then a dragon ogre god that I've never heard of. So I'm wondering now if that means we're going to be getting some updates to Beasts of Chaos, which would be great. They really need it. They need a whole new battle tome. And we've seen that some new battle tomes come out around the time, like when Marathi came out, we had a Daughters of Cain immediately after. Teclis is going to come out. We've got a new Lumineth Realmlords coming out immediately after that. So maybe when this Kragnos comes out, we'll get a new Beasts of Chaos immediately after. That would be great because they desperately need it. And I like them. They were one of my favorite fantasy armies. They have a lot of character. I like them a lot better than any of the other Chaos armies. The other Chaos armies are, in my opinion, are boring. I should say in fantasy, they were boring. They were very kind of like, oh, these guys who, these barbarians who dedicate to this god of chaos, and these barbarians who dedicated themselves to this god of chaos. They've become a lot more flavorful in AOS, but I'm still not like tempted to jump into a lot of the chaos armies. But although now that they're getting some more new mortals and stuff, it's becoming a little more interesting. I've just never been into the demons. But anyways, the last thing I want to look at is the Warhammer Underworlds, The Tithe is Due. So this is the last of the, I think it's the last. No, we have one more group to come out after this, one more of the teams. But man, these guys, this warband looks cool. This guy looks pretty amazing, and he can be a hero in a regular Bone Reaper's army, which I have a Bone Reaper's army, so I'm looking forward to fleshing them out with some of these guys, maybe at least picking them up, because that is a really cool model. Some of the others here, like this guy, I'm loving the mace. I'm really hoping when we get a new OCR Bone Reapers battle tome that we expand the line a little and have different types of Mortek Guard. It'd be nice if we get some like mace wielding Mortek Guard to differentiate, like the sword. Maybe the sword wielding guys are the ones who reroll saves. These guys maybe reroll hits, or get rid of the rend off the swords and give it to the maces. Here's your regular sword Mortek Guard, some archer Mortek Guard. So hopefully that is something that's coming. I think I'd rather take a unit of Mortek Guard with bows than a catapult. The catapults are great, don't get me wrong, but they're too expensive. They can be way too swingy. And then unclear if this guy is a hero or maybe a blanking on the name, the unit champions that have that act as heroes space in here. Whatever, it's fine. So I assume he's either one of those or he's an actual hero. This melting block of something is really cool looking. So looking forward to getting that guy. And then we've got the guys with the big swords, which we've already had. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, this is a pretty cool looking warband. It's got some great new models. And since I'm a Bone Reaper player, I'm looking forward to picking up these. I also want to pick up the Seraphon guys that just came out. But all right, guys, from there we go into the 40K stuff. And like I said, I'm going to leave that to other YouTubers. This was just a quick jump in, look at some of the cool new stuff we've got. Maybe make some suppositions about Kragnos and what's going to go on with that Broken Realms. I'm assuming basically how quickly we are getting names for upcoming Broken Realms. We still haven't got Teclis, but we already know the next 2 after it. So I'm thinking they're going to start coming out a little quicker than we thought, and that maybe they're trying to get Broken Realms finished up before the end of the year so they can still come out with 3rd edition in 2021. That's just a guess here, but otherwise they seem to be grouping these very close together. Essentially every 2 weeks we learn about a new book coming out. Sometimes multiple. Well, always multiple, actually, it seems like. So we're getting Lumineth and Teclis next. Then we're getting Be'lakor. Nothing announced as far as a battle tome with that, although it is very possible that the Soulblight Gravelords will come out the same time as that, or approximately the same time. Then we've got Kragnos coming, and will we get another battle tome with them? I'm hoping that we're going to get a new Beast of Chaos, and that will be, again, kind of toned towards 3rd edition. But things are getting exciting. GW is just, I think they're knocking it out of the park personally. So let me know down in the comments down below what you think of the upcoming releases, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, breaking news. As I was editing the Saturday preview video, I found the Sunday preview for releases for next week. So we now know that next weekend, that will be the 27th of March, you can pre-order Broken Realms Teclis and a lot of other stuff. So let's go ahead and scroll through this article. So we know we're going to get the Broken Realms Teclis book. And related to that, we're also going to get these army sets, these Broken Realm army sets, which I think represent War Scroll battalions that will be in the Broken Realms book. So there's going to be one for Nurgle. There's going to be this cool one for the Zintil War Magi. Then we've got, Mordavel's Hellcourt and Horik's Dreadlance. So this is going to be kind of like the what was the fish people? Mind blanking here. The Achillean King with the 2 sharks were a War Scroll battalion that you could get from the Marathi book. So and then they came out as a box set. So these are all going to be box sets. Not sure on the pricing yet, but this one, the War Magi, looks really cool. The other one's very useful if you wanted to make the Kavalos Deathlance, I think, is the battalion, the current battalion. I don't know if this is going to be a new, unique one. But yeah, you've got that. So you've got a Kavalos Liege, and then you've got the Death Riders here. I'm not sure what battalion this might be, if it's unique or if it's just a battalion that already exists in their box, but it's a specific named character who takes place in the lore. Not sure on these fronts, but these are generally pretty good deals. So we'll keep an eye on that next weekend, see what those look like. We will also be getting the new Battle Tome Lumineth Realm Lords, which I said when I did my review on this faction, it felt like half an army. And I was pretty much dead on, because they are essentially doubling the War Scrolls for this faction and releasing a new book. Looks cool. A lot of cool stuff. So we're going to go through these. They gave us a little bit of a teaser on some of what we might expect out of it. And I expect over the next couple weeks that we'll get more details on, some abilities here and there, like we might find out what the Blade Lords can do and things like that. So we've got the Lyrior Uthral, Warden of Eumetrica, and as well as we know he's got a Demon Bane Lance. We've also know he can be built as just a Lord Regent. So you got that kit, the named character kit. I don't tend to play Eumetrica, so I will probably not build him that way. I'll probably build him as this. But yeah, so you can get the Lord Regent. Then you've got the Wind Chargers, who sound very cool. And if the Hedonites of Slanesh mortal cavalry archers are anything to go on, these guys could be very cool. It sounds like these Huracan units are going to be very fast. And then this deliver killing arrows with unerring accuracy. That sounds pretty interesting. Maybe they are better archers than the Sentinels, because the Sentinels, while the Sun Metal bow, Sun Metal arrows are ridiculously good, Otherwise, they're not terribly good. 4s and 4s with no rend at full range, and then I think they're still 4s and 4s, maybe they're 3s and 4s. I don't remember. With the 1 rend at closer range, so I'm expecting these guys will probably be a little better than that. And plus, super fast cavalry, so that's exciting. Looks good. We've got the Banner Blade, the Venari Banner Blade. Sounds like he's going to give out buffs to people who are around them, and that he will in himself be a good fighter, which I've made my, in my heroes video, I kind of went on to, I don't think if you're going to have a buffing character, they should not be also super good at other stuff. I mean, I want him to be resilient and able to hold his own if he needs to, but this guy, you would presume the banner is going to get buffs to everybody who's around him, so you're going to want him behind your lines, but we'll see. Still really cool. This banner looks awesome. Then we've got this Scenari Caligrave. This guy looks awesome. I like it. And he's got his Ether Quartz calligraphy that he does that will help him with his magic. Maybe he's going to be a two cast wizard. We'll see. I'm curious if they're going to give him a unique lore, if he's just going to know the normal lore, if he's going to be a Huracan and there's going to be a Huracan lore. We'll have to wait and see on that. We've got Severith, Lord of the Seven Winds, and they make he can traverse the battlefield in a blink of an eye and cut down his victims from afar with his giant magical bow. It makes him sound... Now, they do say later on that there's some guys who can essentially... the wind mages can teleport around the field. He doesn't say this, so I'm expecting we're going to see something like a Tau Commander type move, like a 20-inch move or something like that. So that would be interesting. And then, obviously his magical bow is probably going to be 30 or 36-inch range. So, and then... Similar, you've got the Huracan Spirit of the Wind. It's the downgraded version. You've got the Bow of Wind's Vengeance. So also speed beyond compare. So again, they'll probably be super fast, super long range on the bow. So interesting. The Huracan Wind Mage, like I said, it does make that he can effortlessly relocate to wherever he's needed. So sounds like he's going to be one of those you can pick him up and place him wherever you want on the battlefield. The Star Shard Ballistas, they say something like if units that survive getting hit by them are going to have, you can see there's these little crystal things here. So there's enchanted light bound into their tips, and upon impact dazzles anyone nearby. So I don't know if that's going to be a movement shenanigans. I'll give them minuses to hit, but that's going to be interesting. Differentiate them a little bit from the archers so that you have a reason to take the ballista. Blade Lords, looks like we're going to get them in groups of 5, kind of like the Stone Guard. So I would presume these guys are going to be 2 wounds each, probably in the 100 to 130 point range for 5 of them. So it'll be interesting to see what we got. So they've it sounds like they've got multiple fighting styles. So they've got it sounds like they've got a strike, the executing blows against bigger, multi-wound models than the whirlwind of rapid strikes for single wound models. So maybe one of their attacks is more attacks, 1 wound, whereas the other one is less attacks, maybe D3 wounds or 2 wounds, something like that. So that'll be interesting to see. We got the Lore Seeker. They didn't give us a whole lot, although they kind of make a more concerted thing to say he can fight even more effectively as an independent operative. Does that mean he gains buffs while he's not close to other members of the army? Who knows? Then we've got Alania and Elithor, the Eclipsean War Sages. Again, they are named characters, but the cool thing is they can join any army from the Forces of Order. So that army doesn't... Because right now, I believe Stormcast and probably the Idnith Deepkin are the only people who can take Lumineth as allies. And I believe this now means that any other Force of Order can take, so you can have these guys join Lizardmen, the Cities of Sigmar, whoever you want, dwarves. So Shrine of Luminor, this model looks amazing. I can't wait to get it put together. It is going to be a model that can be garrisoned, and it looks like when you're garrisoning it, you can provide several augmentative abilities to those around you. No idea how close you're going to have to be to this. If it's not anything bigger than within 12 inches, like there'll probably be like a Holy Within, and maybe there'll be several different abilities that are like, people who are close will get this ability. People who are farther away will get this ability. It would be interesting to see. I'm excited about it, though. It's one of, if not the coolest terrain piece they've put out so far. So we're also going to get War Scroll cards. That usually comes out with most. Interestingly enough, they are not putting back out any dice. So if you didn't get dice the first time around, then, tough luck. The rest of this is Black Library and 30k stuff from Forge World, so I'm not going to go into that. But there you go, little update to the video. So I will sign off once again and get this out as quick as I can. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would, please share with a friend. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.